Welcome to the History Show News. Hello, good morning. I'm Lourdes. Now we're going to talk about the insurgents and the royalist armies and who they were. Well, the insurgents and royalists were the two armies that faced each other during the independence movement in Mexico. Conflict that lasted 11 years so could Mexico free itself from the Spanish yoke. 11 years! Nevertheless, as was known as the most important stage in the history of our country. The insurgents were the rebel group that opposed the Spanish crown. And the royalists were those who defended the monarchy and authorities appointed by the Spanish kingdom. We could say that the clergy was the main protagonist of Mexico's independence because several of its main leaders were priests, and they witnessed directly everything that was suffered by the most vulnerable sectors of the population. As it is estimated that more than 100 priests fought in different battles in favor of the insurgent army. But what triggered that rebellion? One of the most important factors that gave birth to this rebellion was that in 1808 Spain suffered a French invasion by Napoleon Bonaparte's troops, and as a consequence, the King of Spain was substituted by José Bonaparte, Napoleon's brother, an event that caused some of the inhabitants of New Spain to refuse being ruled by France. This led to the people from New Spain wanting to become independent, proposing a government formed by the inhabitants of New Spain. Another factor that also motivated the independence movement was the strong social inequality that reigned among New Spain, something that was nourished by ideas of the Enlightenment, a European culture and intellectual movement that spoke, among other things, about the independence of powers, equal rights, and respect for individual liberties. This context obviously favored the emergency of the Mexican independence movement. Now, who were the insurgents? There are three very important prominent figures that stand out from the insurgents' side. Miguel Hidalgo and Costilla, priest who made the cry of Dolores. Ignacio Maria Allende Gonzaga, Mexican guerrilla soldier who fought with Hidalgo, and Jose Maria Morelos Antolon, priest and leader of the independence movement, when Hidalgo died, and author of Sentiments of the Nation. And who were the royalists? Well, we know that they defended the interests of the king and the Spanish crown, but their main motivation was to stop the independence movement, although they were considered as a troop of an armed army that wasn't expected to do. The three most important representatives of the royalist troops that fought against Mexican independence movement were Felix Maria Calleja, Spanish soldier and main representative of realism, Antonio Riaño, mayor of the province of Guanajuato, and one of the best intellectually, royalist leaders, and Juan Ruiz de Apodaca and Ilese, viceroy of New Spain, and who defeated the insurgent outpost led by Francisco Javier Mina. As we could see, both the insurgents army and the royalists were part of our history as Mexican. and they were involved in the first Spanish colony that fought for its independence, something noted by the other colonies. Since this movement served as a walking call for the other colonies to emerge and fight for their freedom. Isn't that a reason to be proud? See you in the next one. History Show News. Bye.